I spent over 50 hours and 10,000 credits testing Suno V5 so that you don't have to. But you're gonna want to after what I discovered. Everyone is talking about this upgrade, but no one is really showing you the real comparison that matters. So I put V5 head-to-head against V4.5 and found something surprising that changes everything about which version you should actually use. And by the end of this video, you'll get my 5 strategic mastery tips and my complete spreadsheet breakdown that describes exactly what the differences are. This way, you never have to waste credits on wrong prompts again. I've used Suno for years and my tutorials have gotten over 500,000 views, so I can definitely say that I dabble with Suno. And because of this, I built this custom free lyric maker for Suno that has been used over 100,000 times by you guys. If you don't have it yet, you can check the link in the description. It's completely free and I've updated it specifically for V5's specific prompting style. Your time is valuable, so here's exactly what we'll cover today, so feel free to skip around. First, we'll talk about the audio quality update. In my opinion, V5 sounds like I hired a professional audio quality mixing engineer. But there's one thing that some people were worried about, so we'll test it out to see if that's actually an issue. Second, we gotta talk about the vocal realism, because I think it's amazing. V5's vocals now breathe and show emotion, and it's kind of like listening to real singers. And I discovered how to make them sound even better than the generic techniques, and I'll show you how to get there too. Third, I'm testing different popular genres, and there's timestamps right here. And I wanted to see where V5 absolutely dominates and where it still struggles, or if it still struggles at all. And the results will surprise you, let me tell you that. And finally, I'll cover my 5 V5 mastery tips that I learned by burning through 10,000 credits so that you don't have to. And I will also talk through this spreadsheet that has all of my learnings. This video is jam-packed, so let's get right to it. Let's lock in. Once you click on the link in the description, you are being led to this website. This is called Suno. And as you can see here, they just announced the world's best music model has launched and they call it V5. In order to use the latest model, you need to use one of these plans. And with the Premier plan, you can make up to 2,000 songs a month, which is plenty. And I've actually never used up all of my credits. To create with V5, either click on Create with V5 or click on the Create section on the left-hand side here. If you haven't used Suno before, the left-hand side is where you can instruct the model to create songs. You can either click on the simple section and you just type in what song you want, for example, a pop song about sushi, and then it creates the lyrics for you. However, I'm going to show you the advanced method that gets much better results. You can click on the custom section right here and you can either add audio as reference, create and add your own persona and inspiration, and you can add your own lyrics as well as the styles. You can toggle the weirdness as well as the style influence. You can select the vocal gender, the weirdness and the style influence, and you can even exclude styles if you don't want any styles to pop up in the song. Alright, you probably knew all of this already, so let's get to the new stuff. On the top left corner, you can select the model you want to use. And V5 is the latest model we're going to test out, and we're going to compare it against V4.5. To test out the capability of this new model, let's start with the most obvious upgrade, the audio quality. I'm going to compare V5 head-to-head against V4.5. 2 windows open, identical prompts, and same time generation to test both the quality and the speed. And the genre that we will compare first is going to be acoustic and indie in order to see how the voices sound of the new model. Alright, let's create 2 split screens and we'll have version 4.5 on the left and version 5 on the right hand side. Let's name them version 4.5 on the left and version 5 on the right. In order to do that, I'm going to use my own custom GPT. This is free to use and you can check out the link in the description, but this turns song ideas into the perfectly structured prompt as well as lyrics that don't sound like they're AI generated. And they're perfectly formatted for V5 already. So let's try it out. I will give it something very simple, like create lyrics for an indie folk anthem about chasing dreams in a small town, and some more added information. And I'll hit create. Now it's reading the documents, which is my specific documentation in order to format those lyrics, and it will create the custom Suno prompt description as well as the lyrics. And there we go, it's currently generating the lyrics, and here is the specific Suno prompt right here. We will take this over and we will copy this, then we will go back here and we'll paste this here. And we will give them both separate names. Make sure that the models are selected 4.5 and 5, and we'll hit create and create at the same time. Alright, we can see that they were both generated at approximately the same time, and they're still generating, but we can already start listening to them. So let's check out version 4.5 first.
That bell at Murphy's diner rings, the door swings slow at 9. 2 coffees, 1 for you, 1 mine. They comp the second line.
I really like the rhythm of this, so I really like the 4.5 already, but I think the voice sounds a bit too compressed and it sounds a bit like too AI or too AI generated. It doesn't have a lot of depth to it, but let's keep listening.
The hardware store still sells nails by the scoop in paper sacks. Coach rakes the infield dust while dads lean on the racks. The church marquee's missing letters reads, hope you make it.
Yeah, especially when he hits like the church marquee, like right there, it kind of had a little bit of an artifact.
Church marquee's missing letters reads, hope you make it through. We count the trains by sound, swear the fifth one's running new.
Let's see how the pre-chorus and chorus turns out.
We folded plans between the pages of a high school year.
Alright, the pre-chorus is not too different from the original, so let's see if version 5 can improve on that.
If we start with what we've got, we'll make a steady climb. County line, write our names. Water tower, underline. If they say wait, we say now. Small town hearts, big time vow. County line, write our names. Water tower, underline.
Alright, all in all, that was a beautiful sounding song. Besides the small artifacts in the voice, I think that was already well done. But let's see if version 5 can improve on that. Keep in mind, we used the same style and the same lyrics, so let's listen to it.
That bell at Murphy's Diner rings, the door swings slow at 9. 2 coffees, one for you, one mine, they comp the second line. The hardware store still sells nails by the scoop in paper sack.
You can tell that right there, it like between the lines, he does like a little breath, which makes the voice stand out and have more uniqueness to it. It's not quite as generically flat as the previous one is, but let's keep listening to it.
Breaks the infield dust while dads lean on the racks. The church marquee's missing letters reads, hope you make it through. We count the trains by sound, swear the fifth one's running new. We folded plans between the pages of a high school yearbook spine.
We can already tell that the pre-chorus has different chords and a different rhythm to it. So I really like that it has that distinction here.
We start with what we've got, we'll make a steady climb. County line, write our names, water tower, underline. If they say wait, we say now. Small town hearts, big time vow. County line, write our names, water tower, underline.
All right, the chorus was great. I love that it had the harmonies in the voices and it really gave it more depth. Am I just hallucinating on the more generic sounding 4.5 versus the 5? Maybe I just have a really strong bias. So I need you guys to help me out in the comments and let me know which of these two versions sounded better. And if you could also hear the slight nasally AI sounding voice in the version 4.5 and whether or not that still persists in version 5 or not. Let's just listen to the chorus of the second generation to see if that one also sounds as good.
County line, write our name, water tower, underline. If they say wait, we say now. Small town hearts, big time vow. County line, write our names, water tower, underline.
Okay, I don't know about you guys, but that sounded almost even better. So yeah, I really like both version 4.5 and version 5. I think version 5 is better and is my go-to choice for this comparison. So that's already really impressive. I discovered something that completely changed the way that I use AI music and what I use it for. I wanted to show you the difference of the models for different genres. But before we get to the pop and electronic side of things, let me first show you how good the different models are at following instructions and mixing different genres. In order to test that out, let me create more custom instructions. And the best way to do that is to blend two genres that aren't too similar, and I'm going to give it a challenge to create a duet with one female and one male singer. The two genres that we will blend now are hip-hop and country. In order to do that, I created a new window and wrote these instructions. Create lyrics for a country hip-hop fusion track about modern success and staying true to your roots. I'm also saying make it a duet where one verse is sung by a guy, one by a girl, and then one flipping it back and forth. And I'll have my AI create the instructions for Suno. And once again, it finished the instructions, and here is the Suno prompt. And here are the lyrics. Make sure that the Left side again is model 4.5 again, and the right side is the new version 5. Let's hit create. Let's first listen to version 4.5 once again.
Town dust on the tire, city ink on the page.
Laid back draw, pocket flow.
Signed a lease by the train where the steel runs long.
Counting rent on my phone with the coffee still strong.
Blueprints on the mat in this high-rise hall.
Mama's recipe stuck to
Alright,
my
we
fridge.
immediately noticed that it didn't follow the instructions of when the male is singing on his own or when the female is not supposed to sing and she is automatically duetting back and forth. That is not what we were going for. So let's see if version 5 can fix that. However, on the positive side of things, I really like the blend of hip-hop as well as country. I think it's an unusual mix that I don't hear that much. So it's really great that version 4.5 was able to create that out of the get-go. So if I didn't add the duet to this, I think this would be already a great song. But let's keep listening to see how the chorus turns out.
City bills, gravel roads, I keep both in my coat. Paper climbs, porch time still settles my load. Raise a glass, bow my head, give thanks as I go. Big lights pay the notes.
Alright, I think the chorus sounded good and it had both voices combined, but I think it still sounded a bit compressed. I still liked the beat as well as the melodic country style music, so I think it did already do a good job blending those two, but I think there's still improvement. So let's see if version 5 can do better.
Sign the lease by the train where the steel run long.
Counting rent on my phone with the coffee still strong.
Alright, it also didn't follow the instructions and it already duetted between the male and the female right in the first verse. So I guess there's still a bit of room for improvement here, but let's see how the chorus turns out and if it is able to hit verse 2.
Cash in the wallet, but my lane stay narrow.
City bills, gravel roads, I keep both of my coat. Paper climbs, porch time still settles my load. Raise a glass, bow my head, give thanks as I go. Big life, pay the note, small town feeds my soul.
You can already hear that the duet sounds much more layered and it sounds much more rich. Let's compare the chorus one more time here. This is with version 4.5.
Paper climbs, porch time still settles my load.
So this almost sounds like it's just one voice singing. Let's compare that with version 5.
Gravel roads, I keep both of my coat. Paper climbs, porch time still settles my load. Raise a glass, bow my head, give thanks as I go. Big life, pay the note, small town feeds my soul.
You can tell that it's much more layered and it has more depth to it. Let's see how verse 2 sounds.
I park curbside where the food trucks line.
But I still pack lunch in a 10 from 99.
Granddad's pocket knife lives in my toe.
So at this point, I think in terms of the duets being able to accurately read voice 1 versus voice 2, maybe my prompting is wrong with this particular model. I think I could tweak it in order to make it more accurate. But regardless, I think both version 4.5 and version 5 still have room for improvement in order to make the accurateness of duets to come out properly. However, in terms of how the duets sound when they have two voices layered together, I think version 5 just takes it by a long shot. I think the layered voices, the harmonies sound much better on version 5. But once again, maybe I'm just being biased because I'm making this video. So let me know down in the comments to see if you're feeling the same way. I know I promised you one more genre that I'm just about to show you in just a second, which is the electronic genre, because I want to create something that gives me a throwback to Avicii and all the good songs in the mid 2010s. And after that, I'll show you my 5 prompting techniques in order to create better songs with version 5 and all of the data that I've gathered and all of my insights from creating hundreds of these songs. I put them all in a spreadsheet. I'll show them to you in just a second. First, let's create a new chat. And this time I want to create a progressive house anthem that is similar to the radio hits that we've heard in the mid 2010s. So I'm giving it the style that I want it to be similar to Avicii's Hey Brother, Swedish House Mafia, and I'm giving it the description that I want it to be as if we could listen to it on an Ultra Miami main stage, but also be played on the radio all summer long. I'm really curious to see what kind of songs we come up with here. This time, let's click on Extended Thinking and see if we get some good prompts. And here we go. Here is the style genre. And here are the lyrics. So let's copy that over again. So we're pasting it right here. And let's click create and create. Let's first check out version 4.5.
I missed a honey sunset stuck on my phone. Now I'm leaving the scroll, I'm walking back home. To the field by the stage where the bass feels warm, where 1,000 names turn into one form. Summer is short, but our road runs long, so sing what you've got and I'll sing along.
So overall, I like the background synth. I think that was done really well, but the voice is still giving me a weird synthetic AI voice once again. But maybe the chorus and pre-chorus is better.
And the groove on the line, right here, right now, sing it out. Summer runs quick, but the beat goes on. Hearts in time, we move as one. Hold this moment, hold this song, right here, right now, sing it out. Keep it loud, keep it strong. We'll carry it on. Keep it loud, keep it strong. We'll carry it on.
That was unfortunately a little bit disappointing. The timing was off and the speed kind of didn't really match up. I did kind of like the drop of the electronic part of it, but I did not like the chorus. It just sounded generically AI generated. What can I say? I really hope that version 5 can improve on this because I want to create a banger here. All right, let's test this out.
Count it in.
All right, that's already better start.
I missed a honey sunset, stuck on my phone. Now I'm leaving the scroll, I'm walking back home. To the field by the stage where the bass feels warm, where 1,000 names turn into one form. Summer is short, but our road runs long, so sing what you got and I'll sing along. Tonight we don't wait for some other sign. Feet on the ground and the groove on the line. Right here, right now. Sing it out. Summer runs quick, but the beat goes on. Hearts in time, we move as one. Hold this moment, hold this song. Hold this moment, hold this song. Keep it loud, keep it strong. We'll carry it
All right, here are a few pointers. The verse was still sung a bit faster than my liking, but I think the overall quality of the sound and the voice sounded much better. I really liked the drop. It sounded really full and good timing, good voicing. Overall, I'm really impressed. I want to check out the second V5 generation that it came up with.
Head on a nut and head on. Head on a nut and head on. I missed 100 sunsets, stuck on my phone. Now I'm leaving the scroll, I'm walking back home. To the field by the stage where the bass feels warm, where 1,000 names turn into one form. Summer is short, but our road runs long, so sing what you've got and I'll sing along. Tonight we don't wait for some other sign. Feet on the ground and the groove on the line. Right here, right now, sing it out. Summer runs quick, but the beat goes on. Hearts in time, we move
was also great. Once again, I need you guys' thoughts in the comments. Which was better, V4.5 or V5? I still think there's room for improvement, but radio hit songs aren't just made on the first generation. I usually listen to the first generation and see if I need to change something in my lyrics or in my style prompt in order to get the sound that I'm going for. And all in all, for the first prompt, I thought the results for both the V5 as well as the V4.5 was pretty impressive. And on average, I think the V5 was better than the V4.5. So the real question now is how to use all of what we just learned to our advantage in order to prompt better for version 5, so you don't need to create 10 different songs in order to find one that's good. After 50 hours of testing, there are 5 strategies that will save you hundreds of credits. I've compiled them in this master guide on how to write hit songs with AI. This guide is a beginner-friendly guide for anyone to learn how to create music with AI, and it goes into how to create good lyrics as well as good style prompts. And on the left-hand side, we have the updated V5 showcase. Here are the 5 strategies in order to master V5 prompting. Tip 1. Simplify your prompts. V5 is very literal, and complex descriptions confuse it. So instead of ethereal indie folk with vintage analog warmth and melancholic undertones, just say sad indie folk. The second tip is to use precise instrument tags. V5 responds amazingly to section-specific instruments like verse, acoustic, guitar, soft drums, and you just add these braces to it. That brings us to the third tip, and that is to capitalize on V5's vocal realism. V5 is perfect for acoustics, indie, pop, and anything really where human-like vocals matter the most. The fourth tip is to generate shorter, focused segments. V5 excels excellently at 2 to 3 minutes polished tracks instead of having really long experimental pieces. You can always piece them together in the Suno Studio. I have another video on that right here. And tip 5 is really to know when to use V5 versus V4.5. There might be some cases where 4.5 still wins. This is for heavy genres like heavy metal or stuff like that require a lot of experimentation. I've added more information in my guide right here that include a prompting playbook, different workflow tactics, as well as the spreadsheet that I'm about to share with you. After tons of trials and error and getting a lot of feedback from you guys out there about the songs that I've generated, here's a spreadsheet that covers all of my learning. On the creative philosophy, Suno 4.5 and Suno 5 are similar. Suno 5 is polished and human-like. It creates safer creation choices with fewer surprises, and it's more often better on the first tries, so I don't need to regenerate songs a lot. On the audio and quality mix, V5 is cleaner, fuller, and it has a cleaner, fuller studio mix out of the box. So V5 definitely wins. On the vocals, same here. You've noticed it on all of the experiments that we've run just now. V5 has more natural phrasing and sound. Same with the lyrics and languages and prompt obedience. On the musical structures, it really depends on the prompt. As you remember with the duets, both weren't able to do that, but I'm sure if I prompted it a bit better, I could have gotten it to sing it properly. The one where version 4.5 wins is with heavy genres, such as heavy metal, hard rock, or high BPM EDM. For acoustic and soft styles, version 5 wins by a long shot. Same with hip hop and rap. And for jazz and experimental music, it really depends on the sound. I wasn't able to get a clear winner here. Both are really good with lengthy extensions, and I think both can create 8-minute long songs. Lastly, for unique features, workflow and speed and output feel, I think they're very similar, but also V5 comes ahead here. If you want access to the spreadsheet, I will link it down below and you can check out all of my analysis on your own. This is the summary, and I have other tabs in here that have more details about the genres that are good, as well as more info in general that compare the different tools. If you've made it until here, consider subscribing because I have more videos like that coming up that will help you in your AI productivity or music generation journey. If you want a full guide on how to use Suno effectively, as well as a detailed guide on how to make money with AI music with specific use cases and instructions, then simply check the links in the description. I also just finished a video on how to use Suno AI Studio that was just released, and I think it might be helpful to you. You can watch that right here. And if you subscribed, I'll see you in the next one.